Bred-2-Buck Casino with Goodie, Mitch, Tyson, and Bigfoot in Tulsa King Season 3 Episode 7, Dwight receives a call from Ray. Yes, the same Ray who was refusing to answer Dwight's calls and grinning evilly as though he had the ideal chance to subjugate Dwight was prepared to hear reason. What was the purpose of hinting at a conflict between Ray and Dwight, then? I'm not sure. Returning to the exchange between the two elderly men, Dwight states that although it is not feasible to offer Ray 80% of the liquor company's earnings, they may make a different arrangement in which Ray will grant him access to all establishment that needs alcohol in the Northeast. Ray will receive the money that comes from that area, which is technically his area, and it will increase Montague Distilleries' market share. Ray sets aside his ego and nearly shakes hands with Dwight since that seems like a decent approach. Nevertheless, Ray does want Dwight to understand that eventually he will have to give Ray a portion of his empire or share it with him. For now, at least, Dwight doesn't give that much thought because he considers it to be a meaningless threat. Ray hangs up, and the conversation turns to the Dunmeyers' planned attack at Bubbles. Mitch, Goodie, Tyson, and Bigfoot most likely anticipate that Dwight will strike back, but Dwight is aware that they shouldn't take any chances until business is booming. He therefore makes the decision to try to remove Montague Distilleries' able seal. Dwight goes to Attorney General Sackrider's office to speak with him because it was he who sealed their property. Sackrider believes Dwight is there to grovel before him and asks Jeremiah to be lenient with him. Dwight obviously doesn't do any of that. Rather, he calmly emphasizes that Jeremiah is the reason of Sackrider's conceit, and Jeremiah's high dash. The reason for his handedness is because he has the present governor's approval. Sackrider will be in a difficult position when that changes because Thresher is the frontrunner for governor and is virtually in Dwight's pocket. Meanwhile, Dwight, Tyson, and Bigfoot went to a restaurant named Bubbles to speak with Ray about his persistent demands for a cut of Montague Distilleries' earnings. Dwight came down to brass tacks after some back and forth, accusing Ray of abducting Bill to make him submit to him. Ray had nothing to do with Bill's abduction because Ray became upset since Musso was the one who had jailed Bill for nearly discovering that Dwight was employed by the feds. Prior to Ray and Dwight coming to a compromise, when Cole and his goons arrived at Bubbles, they started firing at Dwight. Cole and his group were successfully driven away by Dwight and Ray's team, but Ray believed that Dwight was the one who had planned a gunfight to murder him, so he allegedly made the decision to sever all contact with Dwight and launch an offensive. But did he? Let's investigate. He uses the CB radio to establish that they are not being followed as they travel to their destination. It's strange that the KC mob called them over Bevilacqua's abduction, according to Grace, and it must be worse than everyone is admitting. I have a bad feeling, she declares. Regarding Bodie, I've had a bad feeling since I met Dwight, but he makes money and we make money. It turns out that all Bodie needed to have faith in Dwight was for him to become legitimate. When Mitch and Cleo arrive to a Pentecostal church, they are greeted by a modest man who promises to put their merchandise in the proper hands. Dwight, Bigfoot, and Tyson go to the meet after Quiet Ray arrives at the motel. To avoid being the first to arrive, Quiet Ray and Dwight both wait a minute. They are merely polite to each other. When Dwight notices Vincent Piazza, there, he scoffs, but Quiet Ray claims he's a changed man. Confucius is paraphrased by Dwight as saying, the wisest of men and the stupidest of men never change. Cole enters without being seen after some small talk. Quiet Ray says he wants a piece of the booze thing, quoting 80%. He is held accountable by Dwight for Bevilacqua's disappearance. Dwight remarks, you take and you take, like AF * King Animal, just as Cole and an underling begin to approach the criminals. Dwight continues to accuse Quiet Ray, who appears extremely distressed by the suggestion, and Cole and his friend open fire on Dwight and Quiet Ray as the gangsters retaliate. Nobody has been hit. Cole and company depart, but Quiet Ray leaves, certain that Dwight attempted to kill him. Back with Mitch and Cleo, they sit and drink coffee in silence as she laments the possibility of leaving this life behind. Back at the casino, Goodie is the only person in charge as the police turn over the deserted establishment. He tells Dwight over the phone, they located Armand. He hung himself in a flophouse. There are bottles everywhere. I'll let you know if I hear anything more. When Dwight calls quiet Ray, he ignores the call and gives the camera a menacing expression. Smile. One of the many unanswered questions in the episode is why Cole is such a terrible assassin. What's up with Musso? Given that Dwight has been cooperating with the capture of the bomb creator, why capture his partner? We hope to hear back shortly. While Dwight, Bigfoot, and Tyson discover that Jeremiah's men are pursuing them, Mitch and Cleo are stopped by a highway patrol officer. Bigfoot knocks out the men who were hired to assassinate Dwight when he, Tyson, and Dwight pull into a petrol station. From a distance, Cole observes this and feels let down by his troops. The highway patrol officer who pulled Mitch and Cleo over freely acknowledges that Cole sent him to harass them. Thus, Mitch and Cleo defeat the officer and flee while he is preoccupied with inspecting the cargo the couple is transporting. When they get at